Oh, hello guys. You're probably wondering what's going on today. Well, today is going to be another theory video. I haven't done one of these in a excuse me, a very long time. Now, you're probably wondering what it's about. Well, today is going to be another Walking Dead theory. And it got me thinking about something earlier, and then it led to this. So, um I got to thinking, and I was, you know, you know, as you guys know, this is a Walking Dead theory, so you guys probably know I did watch The Walking Dead. I did pretty much watch the entire series, including all of the side series up to date. I am waiting for, you know, I've already seen spoilers. I've already seen all of the, dead, when the entire thing. So I can't even. So anyway, through the entire series, it always mentions, like through the entire thing, it mentions the military with, Project Cobalt, Operation Cobalt, and through all the other, and it never gets into, later it talks about, what the National Guard, guards done, then the federal military, and it never got into what the local militias has done. And then a lot of people are probably going, oh yeah, they exist, because that does fall under the Second Amendment. So yeah, it doesn't talk about, at least I don't remember it talking about militias at all. And the thing is watching, because I remember I used to watch the show called Doomsday Preppers. Most of the show was just about just normal people. However, there was like one or two episodes that involved, actual militias. And it got me to thinking, well, with the world in The Walking Dead, the way it would, how everything's going, the militias would do what they normally always do in the case of emergency. They would rally, where they're supposed to go. The problem is I don't know how many would be able to get to where they needed to be, like at, base camp, the militia base camp. And most, at least all the ones I've seen on, on thing, looks like, little military bases. There's like a little airfield for, like short stop planes. There is a place where you could land helicopters. Because militias, at least the well-funded ones, have military-grade weaponry. And I don't remember a single episode that talks, delving into on Walking Dead involving any of the militias. And the U.S. has hundreds of them. So why? As soon as the first thing it's starting up, let's say, going all the way back to, because I did watch Fear. Going all the way back from, Fear. As soon as anything would have started popping off, they would have said, fuck this, packed their shit, and they would have rallied. And then they would not only would they have rallied because they would have brought their families, and then they would have offered for their friends to come, packing food, which would have ended up swelling the militia members, which in turn, as long as they were safe, as long as the place was well fortified, would have been safer. So it would have gotten to the point where local, because it's supposed to be where they have equal power to, the military. However, that's not in reality. The government doesn't. They supposed, at least to my understanding, they supposed to fund, because the thing is how do you expect people in a modern day paycheck to fund something like that? So I think the government should have funded at least small portions of it, or donated stuff they don't use to them. So why? I think the in The Walking Dead, the militias would have set up safe zones, and because of how they work, they could have worked with the military or their local national guards to help ensure the safety of the population. However, apparently that just didn't happen. It didn't speak of it in the show. It didn't, you know, nothing at all. So, and I've seen, what I've seen, like this one episode, this and Doomsday Preppers, this dude literally built an entire castle on a mountain for a militia. That's pretty defendable, and because of where it's located, the dead wouldn't go that way because of the path of least resistance. They wouldn't go up the hill unless if they were, following people. So, however, defended that it would be like a zombie invasion slamming themselves against medieval castle walls. They're not gonna get through. So, why was this not brought up in The Walking Dead? You know, this is a question for fans. If you guys put it in the comments of your ideas about this, I would probably make another video about it. With that new information, because yeah, I just think it's a loss, and I think it would have brought in more. I think it would have brought in more fans to the show if they would have, because it would have made because the way it sounded, only the military and National Guard set up safe zones in the show. And in reality, that just wouldn't be true. Because, you would have militias, sitting up, accepting, as long as they fit a certain, I would say, mindset, because, they would want, like, the whole, it would be, they would be building a community. And eventually, they would get strong enough to where they could end up, taking over a town, clearing the dead out, and using that as a permanent, stronghold or something like that. So yeah, they is just didn't. It wasn't, at least to my understanding, was never brought up in the show, and I think they should have brought it up. So yeah. Well, this is the end of this, and hope you guys thought it was interesting. Staring at my channel thing. So yeah. See you guys another time.